Hi everyone, yet another Futuron review, the last one until a foreseeable future. After this one I'm going to return to my MOCs. So this one is the Interplanetary Rover. This has been, I think, the main ground vehicle from the Futuron subtheme. I didn't have this as a kid, and whenever I looked at the pictures I thought this would be an awesome vehicle. And it is good from a lot of perspectives. I think it has a very nice play feature, but still, after I have built it piece by piece, I have become less fascinated about it. And I will tell you why. As you can see, the vehicle is built up of a front and the back section. The two ones cannot operate on their own because both of them are built on two wheels that are connected by a pin to a major axis. So if you separate them, they will fall to either side, forward or backward. But this wheel build has a nice feature because the wheels themselves can operate independently, so get any angles. So if you place obstacles in front of it, it will go very smoothly over those craters, bricks, or whatever. My only problem with the bottom section, with the wheel section, is even though this height provides a very good turning angle for the wheels, I think this is in a way a little bit too much because of other parts of the build. It will not be able to operate with such angles. And also, if you look at it from a complete side view, then the bottom build is pretty bricky, a little bit too simple for what it should be, and it doesn't have a nice aesthetics. So even though the function is great, the design, the aesthetics of the bottom part doesn't grow up to the size of the set, to my expectations, and even to the age of the set. If it were done 5 years before that, I would have said that's nice, and to be frank, such a build exists in previous classic space builds, but for this set, for this age, for the Futuron subtheme, I think this is a little bit weak. Focusing still on the first section, something that is unusual for the Futuron theme is this vertical canopy position. This looks great, I think, especially if you look at it from a completely forward view. That's a nice view. This is a view that the whole set will like. These radar dishes leaning out. This is very exploratory. Of course, you have a yellow Futuron figure inside. That's, how to say, that's standard. Even though it has two nice printed computer panels, I little bit miss some kind of levers or even a steering wheel from the vehicle. I think that would have looked a little bit better. But from a different perspective, you can also say this is computer driven. So he just sets the coordinate and the vehicle will find its way there. Regarding these dishes on the side that are looking for, again, ores or even extraterrestrial life, there's only one thing I have always hated, and these are these little robot arms. The clips for these ones are very, very weak, and in my childhood I have broken many of these pieces, not on this one, but in cranes or firefighter vehicles. And back at that time we had no brickling, so it was impossible, almost impossible to fix that. Regular clips were also weak, but these were the ones that have broken most of the time. And when you have vehicles with nice features to stabilize the vehicle for lifting a load with the crane, it doesn't look so nice if those parts are broken. One thing that is strange for me is that even though clips are reinforced now, we have thick clips, this piece remains the same, and I doubt children break it less often today. One of my favorite parts about the build are especially these little robots. They do not serve such a good purpose as on the auxiliary patroller, because there is nothing, no air vehicle to drive around, so they cannot hide themselves as boosters. Still, their look is really awesome. They have a little bit of a buggy look. There they are. And one thing that is super strange about this one is that the eyes are transparent yellow. And Futuron was not famous for using transparent yellow pieces. In fact, this is the only set where they are present. If you want, this piece just as well could be a very nice Blacktron robot. Maybe they have acquired from Blacktrons after a successful battle. Moving forward to the back of the vehicle, I think this is again a nice build for a vehicle container, especially that you have a unique piece here, a brick printed with an arrow. This is especially unique for this set, and as far as I'm concerned, these panels were also quite widespread in that era, but not in white and not in the Futuron subtheme. If you open it up, there you go, a little air vehicle comes out from the set. There is nothing very special about it, but still this loader section remains very functional, very useful for any other purposes, for putting their transparent red, blue pieces, building your own air vehicles, or even if you want, you can build there a little mobile laboratory. If I have designed this set, most probably I would have involved a few printed pieces inside so that it has more functions, more possibilities. Also, maybe I would have changed this back a little bit so that it can behave something like an antenna or a signal position. If you look at the whole build again, there is one more thing that is a little bit problematic for me, and that's the usage of plates. If you check the vehicle, starting from the front where you have these wing panels, this nice cockpit, this starts pretty well, but there it's becoming very hollow. That's acceptable, but here in the middle of it, especially here, we have a lot of empty plate parts, also in the back here, and by this time we had many wedge pieces like this on the side. This could have been rounded off much better, in my opinion. I think they have been a little bit lazy about it. I understand why, because they needed stability, a base for building the wheels on top of that. Still, if you look at it, for example, from a top view, then you start seeing how blocky it is, how perpendicular the lines are. And since there are many wedge plates here, there are many angles here with these wings, with the canopy, it gives you the impression that it should be very aesthetic, but at many points that illusion is broken. So my conclusion for this set is going to remain: this could have been an ideal set, and maybe once I will take my time and modify it, rebuild it using only contemporary pieces. To prove that, even though it has many good pieces that you can build on top, this set remains somewhat unsatisfying. If you look at the alternate builds, I think those are also a little bit weak, incomplete, with the exception of the two little rovers. I think this is the only strength about the alternate builds, that having 8 wheels, you can build 2 independent vehicles from this set without any problem. And that's a nice, strong aspect of this set. So this has been my opinion about the Interplanetary Rover. Now we are going to stop reviewing official Futuron sets, and I'm going to return to displaying some of my MOCs. Stay tuned. Bye.